Hi everybody, welcome back to Mando Lessons. My name's Baron Collins Hill. This is episode 7 in the improvisation series. We're going to be working on using all of the things we've learned in episodes 1 through 6 to start adding some other blue notes into our melodic improvisation and variations. If you haven't watched episode 1 through 6, please do that. It doesn't take too long. You can find them all at mandolessons.com or at my YouTube channel. All my lessons are always free, but there's a couple ways to donate. The link's in the description if you're interested in that and these lessons have been helping you out. But for now, let's jump right into today's lesson. All right, so in episode 6, we were thinking about dominant 7 arpeggios in the key of G. So our G dominant 7 arpeggio was G, B, D, F natural. Whereas in a normal G scale, you would have an F sharp as your 7th degree. With the C dominant 7 arpeggio, you have C, E, G, B flat. Whereas the normal 6th degree of the key of G, G, A, B, sorry, third degree is G, A, B, but you're making it G, A, B flat. And then with the key of D, the D arpeggio, you have D, F sharp, A, and C natural. And that C natural isn't a new note for our G scale that we're going to be using to improvise with, but it is something where you can start to think about using a C note where you might not normally think it goes. So let's put together a scale that we can now improvise with and think about how we can use some of these new notes. So our original G major scale, as a recap, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. And now going up the scale, we're going to have to add that B flat and that F natural. So we have G, A, B flat, B, C, D, E, F natural, F sharp, G. Let's go back down. G, F sharp, F natural, E, D, C, B, B flat, A, G. And those are most of the notes that we're going to be using in today's lesson. So now that we have our kind of roadmap of what notes we can use, let's think about how we can use that B flat and that F natural to the greatest effect. Now you'll hear a lot of this in blues and in bluegrass. What we're going to start by doing is working with that B flat. So that B flat really makes our G sound minor. You know, if we're playing a G major chord and we have G, A, B natural, but if we have that B flat, that really is kind of creating connotations of a G minor. Because the thing that creates a G minor chord is G, B flat, D versus a G major chord, which is G, B, D. So, something again that you'll hear in blues and bluegrass is you'll often hear people move quickly between B flat and B, that third kind of alternating between minor and major. So that would sound something like this. And you can do that through slides, or you can do hammer-ons, or you can just pick all the notes. Doesn't really matter kind of how you're getting from one to another, but playing around with that little feeling of getting from B flat to B sort of blurs the lines between major and minor, and that's one of the most classic what are called blue notes because they're found in blues. So as you're playing along, you know, maybe I'll get this little G chord running for you, and now play along with just play around with that B flat to B move. We're not going to change chords at this point. Now you take over the G chord, and I'll play some B flat to B ideas. Here you go. Now I'm going to move it up an octave. that. So you take it again. Here we go. Go for it. Alright, so that's definitely something to play around with as you are kind of working out of the key of G, or whatever key you're working on. You know, working with that flat 3 to 3 move is going to give you a great sound that you're going to hear in tons of different kinds of music. Now, the other note that we added is an F natural. So, when a normal G scale, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, F sharp is that 7th degree of the scale, and we're flatting that. We're getting that note from our G dominant 7 arpeggio. Very bluesy sound. The way we're going to use this, that F natural is really going to want to lead us from a G chord into a C chord. That's somewhere you'll hear it a lot. So, and the reason for that is that F natural really wants to pull down 1 fret to an E. And the E is a target note, it's the 3rd of a C chord. So if our chord progression is going G, then to C, our improvisation might sound something like this. We got so we have that G, and our melody is going from that G, G, then F, then E, and that E is a nice target note for that C chord in that chord change. G, G, then F, then E. So using that, let's I'll just set up a little chord progression going from G, G, and then C, and then a G, and try to make use of that F natural and see if you can get it to pull to that C chord. So here we go, G, throw in that F natural, C with an E target note, back to G, back to C, G, and C. Now you take over the chords here, all right, and I'll play. Take it, G, then to C, a couple more times. One more. Now, the final note, as I mentioned, was coming from that D dominant 7 arpeggio. And now you can use that C natural, which you would, it's a great target note for the key, for when you hit a C chord, because it's the first note of the scale of C, it's the 1 of C. So your melody might go. It's a great way to signify a C chord, a great target note. Now, we can also use that C as a target note in the key of D. Sorry, for the chord of D in our G improvisation. So as we're going along, we've got G, maybe use those flat, B flat to Bs, and then we have, try to use that F to our E target note in our C chord. Now if we add in a D chord here, we've got is we have a D chord. Maybe our initial target note is that D. And we've got that. And it's got that same kind of pull of C to B, and that B is our one of our target notes for a G chord. So from D, has that same sort of pull. So I'll do a couple rounds through D. We're gonna go D, make use a lot of that C natural, then G. So we're doing a little 5-to-1 progression of D, and you play over this. Back to G. D. G. One more. D. G. All right. I think that's a good stopping point for today. We've taken little ideas about how we can move from one chord to another using those blue notes, that kind of notes we gained through looking at dominant 7 arpeggios. In the next lesson, I'm just going to set up a chord progression for you so you can really work through trying to add all of these together into one improvisation. So stay tuned. Subscribe if you haven't already, because new lessons come out every single week. Once again, everything is always free. Donations greatly appreciated if you find these lessons helpful. But whatever way you choose to support is greatly appreciated, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye-bye.